מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. Page 10, everyone. הנה מה טוב. הנה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב, שבת אחים גם יחד. מה טוב, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Welcome to Temple Akiba. We're so glad that you're here in person, online as well. My name is Rabbi Zach Shapiro, and I'm so glad that you're here on this Shabbat. I'm here with Max Petrush, who is such an extraordinary member and alumnus of our community. Max graduated our high school 7 years ago, made his way through college in Arizona, is now in a graduate program in aviation, and thank you for being back. When Max told me that he was going to be driving home today from Arizona, I said, get your tush here, because I'm solo tonight, and I'd really rather not be solo. And so Max, thank you for being here with us as well. Am I allowed to say the word tush when we're on live stream? All right, we'll just go with it. So tonight is our Shabbat journey. Tonight is our journey of light, of soul, of goodness. Tonight is the Shabbat that marks the darkest Shabbat of the year. Starting next week, tomorrow night, the days start to get longer, little by little. And so now more than ever, spiritually, emotionally, we need to bring light into this darkness. And so, Max, I'm inviting your parents, Lisa and Eric Petrush, forward for for the lighting of our Shabbat candles. We are in our prayer books on page 2, everyone. Page 2. One second.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav,
V'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat. We're going to continue now on page 5, everyone, with our Kiddush. We invite all who are able to please rise.
Baruch
Atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav, atzavanu, b'shabbat kodsho, b'ahava uvratzon, inchilanu, zikaron lemaaseh v'reishit, ki hu yom tehillah. Let's read together on the top of page 6. We enter this sanctuary to welcome Shabbat. Within these walls, we sit surrounded by numberless generations. Our ancestors built the synagogue as a visible sign of God's presence in our midst. Throughout our long history and our endless wanderings, it has endured, a beacon of truth, love, and justice for all humanity. Its presence guided our ancestors to lives of righteousness, holding up to them a vision of their truest selves. Now we, in our turn, come into this sanctuary to affirm the sacredness of our lives. May we enter this place in peace. May holiness wrap around us as we cross its threshold. Weariness, doubt, the flaws within our human hearts, the harshness of the weak, let these drop away at the door. In the brightness of Shabbat, let peace settle upon us as we lift our hearts in prayer. We're going to continue with the singing of Lecha Dodi. We're on page 20. This is a song joyfully welcoming Shabbat, and our tradition is that when we get to the final verse, we face the entryway and we bow. We bow as the grace of Shabbat enters our lives. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי, לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. שמור וזכור בדיבור אחד, השמיענו אל המיוחד, אדוני אחד ושמו אחד, לשם ולתפארת פתילה. לך דודי דודי, לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לקראת שבת לכו ונלכה, כי היא מקור הברכה, מראש מקדם נסוכה, סוף מעשה במחשבה תחילה. לך דודי דודי, לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. Verse 5, היא התעוררי, היא התעוררי, כי באורך קומי אורי, אורי אורי, שיר דברי, כבוד אדוני עלייך נגלה. לך דודי דודי, לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. We rise and we face the entry, verse 9. בואי ושלום עטרת בעלה, גם בשמחה ובצהלה, תוך אמוני עם סגולה. בואי חלה, בואי חלה. לך דודי, לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. We remain standing, and we're going to continue with our Chatzi Kaddish on page 26. Page 26, everyone. Yitgadal v'yitgadash shemei Rabba, ve'amad divrach urutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayechon uvyomechon uv'chayedecho beit Yisrael. Bagala, bagala, uvizman kariv, v'meru, amen. Yehi shmei Rabba mevarach, le'alam u'alamei homaya, yitbarach, yitbarach v'yishtabach, v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal, shemet kurusha brichu, le'elam min kol berchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, damiran bi'alma, v'meru, amen. Our formal call to worship is the Baruch Hu. It's on page 28. We remain standing and we face east. Yai lai lai, yai lai lai lai, yai lai 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 lai, yai lai lai, yai lai lai lai, yai lai 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 lai, yai lai lai lai. lai 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 lai. Yai lai 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 lai, yai lai 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 lai, yai lai 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 lai. Baruchu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruchu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Leolam Va'ed. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Leolam Va'ed. Yai lai lai, yai lai lai lai, yai lai 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 lai. Yai lai lai, yai lai lai lai, yai lai 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 lai. Yai lai 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 lai, yai lai 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 lai, yai lai 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 lai. Yai lai 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 lai, yai lai 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 lai, yai lai lai lai, yai lai. We remain standing for the watchword of our faith, Shema Yisrael. Actually, I lied. Please be seated. I have a favorite midrash about the Shema. We grew up often translating this as, "Hear, O Israel, the Lord is our God, the Lord is one." It's a fairly common modernist translation, modernist meaning 100 years ago modernist. But I like us to rethink what this means. Shema, pay attention. Israel, children of Jacob. Listen up, O children of Jacob. Adonai Eloheinu, God is all around us. And God is one. Now, there's a midrash that is based on this, and I think about it because of where we are in our Torah right now. We had the Joseph stories, which go on for a few portions, and at the very end of the Joseph stories, we have Jacob, the ancestor, by his deathbed. And all of his children and grandchildren have emigrated out of Israel, and they're now living in Egypt. They're in the diaspora. They are the first diaspora Jews. And Jacob is really worried that his children are going to forget the covenant that God made with Abraham and Sarah, and with Isaac and Rebekah, and with Jacob himself and Rachel and Leah. He's really scared that Judaism will dissipate. And so on his deathbed in Egypt, he's surrounded by all of his sons. And they say to him, "Shema Yisrael, listen up, Dad." Because remember, Jacob had changed his name to Israel. So Shema Yisrael, listen, Dad. Adonai is all around us. There's only one God. That despite the fact that they're in Egypt where there's many gods, they are going to maintain their monotheism. And so they said that in a loud voice so that Jacob could hear them with his hard of hearing as an old man. And Jacob then, in a raspy voice, said in a whisper, "Baruch Shem Kavod, Malchuto Leolam Va'ed." Blessed is God's name forever and ever. Now, based on this midrash and other scholarship, this is why when we offer the Shema, we say the first part of the Shema in a loud voice. And the Baruch Shem Kavod, we always say more quietly. It's to reanimate what our midrash shared. But the midrash speaks to us today. It's not just a biblical midrash. Here all of us are in the diaspora. And like Jacob's sons, we are diaspora Jews. And yet we're here. We're maintaining our allegiance to the unity of our people, despite the fact of everything else that goes on around us. So now, I ask as a family, let's please rise. On page 34 for Shema Yisrael. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. 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 Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Va'ed. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Va'ed. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Please be seated, everyone. Max will lead us in the V'ahavta on page 36, everyone.
Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha u'b'chol nafshecha u'b'chol meodecha v'hayu hadvarim ha'elech asher anochi mitzavecha Hayom alevavecha, v'shinatam levanecha, v'dibarta bam, b'shivtecha b'feitecha, uvleftecha v'derech, uvshoptbecha uvkumecha, ukshartam leot al yadecha, v'hayu letotafot b'neinecha, Uvtavtam al mezuzot beitecha uvisharecha leman tiskeru va'asitem et kol mitzvotai v'ditem kedoshim Elohehem Ani Adonai Elohehem Asher hotzeitiechem Meretz Misraim, Lihiyot Lachem Elohim, Ani Adonai Elohehem. Anahem Edmet.
Nice job, Yasher Koch. We're going to continue now with our Song of Freedom, the Michamocha. We're on page 40, everyone. Page 40. Ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 la. Let's do that again. Ya la la, everyone. Ya la 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 ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 ya la 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 la. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nehedar b'kodesh, norati lo tosei pele, norati lo tosei pele. Ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 מלאכותך ראו בניך בוקי הים לפני משה ומרים זה אלינו ויאמרו זה אלינו ויאמרו אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד יאללה לי יאללה לה 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 יאללה לה 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 יאללה לה 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 יאללה לה לה יאללה לה לה לה. Our covenant of Shabbat, the Vishamru, is on page 44. It was Achad Ha'am who taught us that more than Shabbat, more than the Jewish people has kept Shabbat, Shabbat has kept the Jewish people. This is that one day that we all get to harness that brings every single one of us together in a very spiritual way. So Vishamru has what I like to call kind of a seventh inning stretch in it, meaning that when we sing it, there's a point that we kind of sit up a little bit in our chairs. You'll see where that is. Vishamru b'nei Yisrael let's try that again. Et ha-Shabbat, לעשות את השבת לדורות המדית עולם, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורות המדית עולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם, אותי לעולם, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורות המדית עולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורות המדית עולם. וביום השביעי שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש. Big breath, everyone. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורות המדית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורות המדית עולם. Continuing now with our Amidah, we invite all who are able once again to rise on page 46.
Adonai sefatayv tifta'u fi yagi tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu v'Elohei avotenu v'imotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, v'Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor Va'anura, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, Vekonei Hakol, Vezocher Hastei Avot Ve'imahot, Umevi Gula Livnei V'nehem, Lema Shemo Be'ahava.
Melech Ozer Umoshia Umagin. Baruch atah
Adonai, Magen Avraham
Ve'ezrat Sarah. Atah Gibor Le'olam Adonai. Mechaye HaKol atah Rab L'Hoshia.
Mehakel
Chaim Bechesed. Mechaye HaKol Berachamim Rabim. Somech Noflim Ve'rofeh Cholim. Umatir Asurim. Umekayem Emunato. Lishenei Afar. Michamocha Bal Gevurot. Umido Melach. Melech Meimit Umechayeh. Umatzmiach Yeshua.
V'ne'eman atah lechayot hakol. Baruch atah Adonai, mechayeh hakol. Atah kadosh v'shimcha chadosh, u'v'shim b'chol yom ya'alu
Selah.
Baruch atah Adonai, ha'el hakadosh.
Please be seated, everyone. Thank you, Max. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. We open our newspapers, we turn on the TV. Oh, let me back up. You might be asking me, what's a newspaper? It's rare that we read a good piece of journalism anymore. We have to be careful of how we navigate these things. We look on at what's going on in the international news. We look at Syria, we look at Turkey. We see what's going on in Israel. And it gives us pause. We're really trying to figure all this out, and how do we, as clear-minded people living so far away, how do we allow that to filter through our thoughts? In some cases, I know that we feel helpless, and in some cases, we feel frustrated. And it's a lot to hold on to. I'm reminded of a very important Mishnaic passage which teaches that parents have 5 obligations to their children. 5 obligations. One of those obligations is, if you have a son, is to offer that son a bris. I would widen that to bringing any child into the covenant. A second obligation is to teach that child, to be an educator, to inspire that child. A third is to help that child find a trade. Enable that child to learn his or her capabilities and what drives them, what they love to do, and inspire them toward that love. A fourth obligation, and parents have to be so careful here, is to help that person find a spouse. I'll tell you that whenever I get a call from a well-meaning parent saying my child is going to get married, are you available? I never accept over the phone to the parent. I always say, have your child call me. Because you never know what that child actually wants. And the parents often have the best of intentions, but you never know what the child actually wants. A fifth obligation and some of you know this already, is to teach your child how to swim. Right? Kind of outside of the box of these other ones. And there's, of course, lots of commentary on it, teaching them how to swim not only physically, you got to learn how to swim, otherwise you're going to drown, but it's also a metaphor for life, that we all need to learn the survival skills of how to deal internally with what we read in the news, with how to navigate what's going on with Israel and what's going on with our lives here in the States, how to navigate when there's a bully at school, how to navigate when we have a neighbor who's not a good neighbor, how to navigate when we have a family member who doesn't treat us well. So that life lesson of teaching how to swim is one of those ongoing gifts, obligations that we give to our children. So today I found myself with Maya and Eli at the pop-up skating rink in Santa Monica. What does this have to do with swimming? Well, I'm going to make a little bit of a stretch here. Water, frozen water, ice, skating, okay? So I feel, they learned how to swim already a couple of years ago, but I felt like I fulfilled my obligation getting them on the ice. And it's all those same kind of skills. It's balancing, and it is motivation, and it's getting up when you've fallen, and it's going, and it's holding on, and me learning how to let go when I needed to let go. It's not always easy as a parent, but that feeling of watching your child glide for the first time is magical. So we do our best to fulfill these obligations. And teaching our children those basic survival skills, that will help all of us to deal with what's going on out there in the world. And to help us to try to make sense of the water that is storming around us. So I gave an example of my kids. I want to give an example now of someone who I feel I had a hand in raising, and that is Max, who was helping to lead our service. Max was our second official. Eric didn't count. Okay. Now, Eric Rosenstein didn't count because he was, so Tyler was number one. Max was our second official junior rabbi here at Temple Akiba, meaning that he grew up through the system, learning incredible skills from Eric and Lisa, his wonderful parents, but also creating a second home here and learning some of those skills that when he went out into the Jewish world in college, that helped him to understand a little bit more about what it means to be a child of Israel out there. Max was an incredible junior rabbi. He helped us out whenever he could. And I even remember one Shabbat, I began services, and Max was sitting in the congregation, and he went like this to me, meaning, "Rabbi, where's your yarmulke?" And I realized he didn't have to say anything. He just pointed to his head. And it wasn't him saying, "You need to be wearing one." He was just saying, if you want to wear one, just realize that you're not wearing it right now. And it was that kind of right-hand person who was really magical to have around, and I never forgave him for graduating high school. But I do want to welcome him back so he can share a little bit with you about what it's like out there in the Jewish world when you are a young adult. Max, come on forward, and we're glad to have you back.
Thank you, Rabbi. It is always a pleasure to be back at my second home, Temple Akiba. It has changed, but not changed. You know, I see the same faces that I saw when I was half this size, and I grew a couple more inches, and I'm an adult, and I'm still this size, and I see the same faces. So it is a blessing to be back always. So my journey at Temple Akiba started when I was in first grade. I went through religious school, and I became the junior rabbi, and went through high school, Hebrew High, had my bar mitzvah in the beautiful brand new sanctuary at the time. And after that, I graduated high school and then went to college. And I spoke with my parents always, and I made sure that wherever I went to college needed to have a Hillel, needed to have some sort of active Jewish presence. And I didn't know where I was going to end up, but I knew it had to have a Hillel. So I ended up choosing Arizona State, and I lived on one of the smaller campuses of Arizona State. Not many people know, but they have several campuses scattered around the Phoenix metro area, and I was on the small engineering one with probably only a handful of Jews on there, and they didn't want to leave their rooms. It was just kind of that culture. But the Hillel was at the other campus, and at the time it was the height of COVID, and not many people were interacting and socializing with each other. So I made it my goal as soon as it was safe to do so. I went to the other campus with my roommate, who was also Jewish, and we went out and we met some other Jews, and we wanted to get involved with the circle because we wanted to meet more people. And we felt that we were missing something being locked in our rooms during COVID, eating at our desks, taking classes online. We were missing a whole college experience. But not only that, we were missing the Jewish experience that we wanted so badly. And when we finally were able to do so, Hillel welcomed us with open arms, and we both ended up joining the Jewish fraternity on campus. It was Alpha Epsilon Pi, and now my brother, younger brother Eli, who is here somewhere in the temple doing youth group activities, is now a part of it as well. So it's kind of a Lador Vador moment, seeing myself, and that was like my final semester of college, myself seeing him initiated into the chapter while I finished my time at the chapter was quite rewarding to me as an older brother, but also as a Jewish adult, and to see him start his journey. And since in the past year, I've gotten a lot of questions and texts about what's Jewish life like on campus, what's Jewish life like on a college campus outside of California. And I can say with confidence that we have never once faltered in our pride. We have worn our Stars of David around our necks, and we walk around campus, and we go to Shabbat every Friday at Hillel and Chabad, and we represent, and we always are there for each other, with each other, and we are even louder than we were before. So Jewish life on campus has actually grown stronger since the acts of October 7th. And I have been very privileged to be a part of that and to see how many other Jewish adults who have maybe once been silent have felt comfortable and have felt a sense of belonging and a sense of presence to be wanted to be seen on campus and have their voices heard as a Jew. So it's always a blessing to be able to come back and when I go back to school, represent all Jews on campus, because sometimes you never know, the people you meet may have not even met a Jew before. So to be that first face of what a Jew, who a Jew is, how a Jew acts, everybody is different. They're from their own backgrounds, and that's one big teaching that I love about the Jewish religion, is that we are all welcoming, and that is the message that I've wanted to spread to other college students that may never met a Jew before. So, yeah, and it's always a pleasure to be back here at my Jewish home. You're awesome.
Max, thank you so much for sharing so beautifully and passionately, especially at this time of year when the light of our Hanukkah menorah will pierce the darkness that's around us. Let's not be afraid to put those Chanukiot in our windows. Let's not be afraid to wear that star around our neck. We're going to enter a moment of private reflection. And let's think about how we're swimming through life, how we're navigating, how we are wearing our Judaism with pride, and how we're adding light to the darkness. let's pray privately. Yehu leratzon, Yehu leratzon, imrefi, ve'yon libi lefanecha. Adonai tzuri, Adonai tzuri, Adonai tzuri, vego ali. May the words of my mouth and the meditations of my heart be acceptable unto you, O God, my rock and my redeemer, my rock and my redeemer, O Lord, my rock and my redeemer. We're going to ask that you open your prayer books to page 253. 253, right in the middle. And we have our prayer for healing, our Misha Berach. And this gives us an opportunity to think about those who could use an extra hug, an extra embrace, if they're facing moments of darkness. As I offer the first part of the prayer, please sing with me, and then at the middle, if there are names that you're thinking of, please share those names out loud, and then we'll continue to pray once again. Sheberach Avotenu Mekor HaBracha Imotenu. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body It's now my honor to invite forward representing our congregation, Verna Erez. Verna, thank you so much for being here, and Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom, everybody. Welcome. I'd like to thank Rabbi Shapiro and Max Potridge for leading the service. And on behalf of the Board of Trustees, I would like to welcome everyone to Temple Akiba. Is there anybody here for the first time? Okay, then we'll see all of you in the social hall for the Oneg afterwards. I would like to thank Lisa and Eric Potridge for lighting the candles and leading the Kiddush. And also a thank you to Sisterhood for hosting the Oneg tonight. And a few announcements. There is not going to be Torah study tomorrow. There'll be Torah study again on January 4th, and that'll be online. And the following Saturdays, it'll be the regular Torah study. We're having our Hanukkah Shabbat service next Friday on December 27th at 6:30 p.m. Israeli dancing is presented by the Sisterhood, and it's one Wednesday a month at 7 p.m. The next one will be January 8th. We're having a Mahjong tournament that is also sponsored by the Sisterhood on Sunday, January 19th from 9 a.m. to 4:15 p.m. And we're continuing the winter donation drive of warm clothing and also pop-top cans of soup, jackets, coats, socks. They can be, if used, please wash them, otherwise new. And hopefully we can help these people keep warm, as we are trying to do too. So I hope to see you all now, well, when the service is over, in the social hall. And again, Shabbat Shalom. And Happy Hanukkah.
Thank you so much, Verna, for all you and all of our leadership does. We're going to continue with our concluding prayers, beginning with the Aleinu, page 282. About halfway down the page, we invite all who are able to rise once again. עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים, לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו echad. Please be seated, everyone. On page 291, there are stars up above so far away we only see their light long, long after the star itself is gone. And so it is with people that we loved. Their memories keep shining ever brightly, though their time with us is done. But the stars that light up the darkest night, these are the lights that guide us. As we live our days, these are the ways we remember. We remember at this time friends and family of our community who have died, who will always live upon us from their eternal resting spaces. We remember first those for whom we are in Shloshim, including Stanley Greenberg and Saul Galper. Is there anyone else who is observing Shloshim? Friedman. Joseph Kauser. Jim Koritsky. We add to their names the yard sites, the anniversaries of the deaths that occur on this Shabbat. We'll begin with those who have plaques in our Erfrig Memorial Room. Maxine Andron. She was a true past leader of this congregation. Esther Axelrod, Gertrude Barnathan, Isidore Kaplan, Louise de Mayo Zackheim, Celia Elfman, Morris Jakobowitz, Jim Callis, Joseph Noblet, Milton Knopf, Israel Miller, Morris Newman, Richard Newmark, Faye Resnick, Susan Rosencrantz White, Fanny Starkman. We also remember Reuben Bergman, Marion Bernstein, William Blonder, Edward Blum, Irene Crane, Rabbi Leonard Devine, Jose Dvorsky, Tamara Fischel, Morris Fisher, Maura Forsyth Crane, Damon Geller, Harold Glickman, Francis Goldstein, Richard Goldstein, Dora Helfand, Alan Holtzman, Howard Huckman, Nate Lebozer, Martin Lebovisky, Devere McGuffin, Devora Dorothy Natkin, Harold Natkin, Alij Piran, Seal Poland, Henry Reese, Bessie Rosenberg, David Rosenfeld, Herbert Rosenkrantz, Ann Salzman, Pearl Schechter, Sam Seitman, Lois Stone, Lillian Ullman, Gerald Weinstein. Are there additional yard sites those here are remembering? Your grandma. May their memories guide all of us with light and with goodness and guidance. We rise and we turn to page 294 for our mourner's Kaddish. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemer rabba v'yalma divrach chorotei v'yamlich malchotei b'chayechon uvyomechon uv'chayei dechol beit Yisrael b'gala u'v'yizman kariv v'imru amen Yehi shmei rabba mevarach leolam u'amei omaya yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitfa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh V'yitadar, v'yitaleh, v'yitalal, shemei dekudusha barichu. Le'elam min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechamata, damiran bi'alma v'imru, amen. Yehi shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, v'imru, amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, huyaseh shalom. Aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. May the one who causes peace to be known in the high heavens help us understand that by reaching out to each other, we create peace on earth as well. For all Israel and for all humanity, we say, Amen. We're going to ask you to remain standing, everyone. Our closing is going to be a Hanukkah song, page 367, Light One Candle. I remember going to, I think it was my first Peter, Paul, and Mary concert in 1987. So, you know, they became famous in the 60s, but they had many, many reunions after that. And Peter Yarrow, of course, was Jewish. And though he was Jewish, they'd never really written any Jewish songs until this one. And Light One Candle in the mid-'80s took the Jewish world by storm. Again, page 367. It took the Jewish world by storm, and it was a modern folk way of saying, we will nurture this light and we'll keep on lighting these candles no matter what. So let's sing in full voice in anticipation of Hanukkah coming up. Light one candle for the Maccabee children, give thanks their light didn't die. Light one candle for the pain they endured when their right to exist was denied. Light one candle for the terrible sacrifice justice and freedom demand. But light one candle for the wisdom to know when the peacemaker's time is at hand. Don't let the light go out, it's lasted for so many years. Don't let the light go out, let it shine through our love and our tears. Light one candle for the strength that we need to never become our own foe. Light one candle for those who are suffering the pain we learned so long ago. Light one candle for all we believe in, let anger not tear us apart. But light one candle to bind us together with peace is the song in our heart. Don't let the light go out, it's lasted for so many years. Don't let the light go out, let it shine through our love and our tears. What is the memory that's valued so highly that we keep it alive in that flame? What's the commitment to those who have died when we cry out they've not died in vain? We have come this far, always believing that justice will somehow prevail. This is the burden, this is the promise, this is why we will not fail. Don't let the light go out, it's lasted for so many years. Don't let the light go out, let it shine through our love and our tears. Don't let the light go out, it's lasted for so many years. Don't let the light go out, let it shine through our love and our tears. Don't let the light go out, don't let the light go out, don't let the light go out. Whoops, there we go. All right, everyone, one final ritual we have, and that's the breaking of bread. Let's join together in Motzi. Motzi lechem min haaretz. We give thanks to God for bread. Our voices joining happy chorus as our prayer is humbly said. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Motzi lechem min haaretz v'tei avon. Shabbat shalom, everyone. Let's join across the way for Oneg.